Alrighty guys, we have returned from our parts run. It took way longer than we thought. Firstly, we got this little fuse connector. We're gonna go ahead and destroy this and route it into the fuse box for our fuse. And then this is a switch we found. There's this small plastic piece on the lower left-hand side in the driver's footwell. And this switch is damn near the same size as it and same color. It's gonna fit absolutely perfectly. These are the switches, so about the same height and right about the same width. So this is gonna look absolutely sublime in the car. I'm very, very, very excited for this. Very hype. Alrighty guys, so we've run into another issue. If you'll look here, this is the plug that comes with our Mishimoto radiator. So this is just a fill plug for that hole. Your temperature sensor is supposed to go in here. So when you take this out, you thread your temperature sensor in. This is the temperature sensor that came with the electric fans that we got. But the problem is the thread, both count and pitch of this do not match this. That's a big problem. So one solution we can look at is getting an adapter, but we don't know what the thread count or pitch of either of these are. So we're gonna have to run to some hardware stores, see if we can find out that information and look for an adapter. Another option is this. If you unscrew this, this is just a housing for the sensor itself. So the right part is the housing for the sensor on the left. And this core runs to the center of this. Now I think the reason that this is because as this brass piece heats up, the temperature sensor reads the core heat of this metal and gauges based off of that. It has set readings based off of that to tell your fans to turn on or off. So if we were to make our own one of these, it would have to be made out of brass. I'm uncomfortable making it out of aluminum or steel because they have different specific heat capacities, so they heat up a little bit differently and the readings will be off. You could make it work, but I really want to do it the right way. We would use the same material. Obviously, if we get an adapter between the two, it wouldn't really matter what material it's made out of because this is still the core heating element. That's the solution we're going to be looking into next. We're going to go to some part stores, figure out what thread, pitch, count, and size these things are, and maybe look for an adapter online, maybe make our own. We'll see how it goes. Alrighty, folks, it is the following day. I did have to run last night, but while I was gone, Shaw went ahead and finished up absolutely everything here. Well, almost everything here. He got all of the wires over at the battery positive connector hooked up. They look very nice. We just have to shrink wrap it. He got the switch wired all the way back down running parallel with the positive battery cable, and he got the fuse wired in. So that 30 green fuse right there, you can see it's a little bit custom. It's not in an actual fuse slot, and that's because the clip holder we got for the fuse is too big to fit in one of the OEM holes, but it fits just fine. We might retrofit it a little bit later, but for now it serves our purpose. Everything else is tidied up and cleaned. The only thing we have left to do is the temperature sensor ignition power source. Speaking of which, we've made a little bit of progress with the temperature sensor. By taking the plug which came with the radiator, we figured out that this was an M16 by 1.5 thread, and we found that this was it 3/8?
3/8 inch MPT.
So this needs to thread into where this threads into. So we needed an adapter from this side to this side. So we brought these two to 11 billion auto parts stores yesterday and couldn't find anything. We did figure out the thread size though from Ace, so that's really useful. And now Shaw found an adapter. We can order that, and then that saves the time of having to retrofit and build another one of the base parts of these. That's unnecessary now because we can totally buy a new one. Buy an adapter.
Yeah.
That's excellent work, my friend.
Easy.
But that's boring stuff. You don't need that to run the fans. Let's get the fans turned on because I'm very excited to see what that looks like. Alrighty, there they go. They're actually super, super quiet. I don't know how it's picking up on camera, but like, they're very quiet, especially compared to Shaw's Camaro's electric fans, because we've been having problems with those lately. They are very loud, but these are super, super quiet. You can't even hear them from inside the car. And they blow very cold, so that's a huge success. We don't technically need to do the temperature sensor because all the temperature sensor does is tell the fans to turn on when the coolant gets to a certain temperature. But since we've got that override switch, as long as we remember to turn it on every time we get in the car so that it cools the engine, we don't really need the temperature sensor. But we're gonna go ahead and get one anyways because luxury car, Lexus, as you know. So yeah, that's a huge success. I'm super happy that that's done. We're gonna order the adapter and then get the temperature sensor in. I'm very excited. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. We were really dreading doing the wiring for a long time. As soon as we got the electrical fans in, we were super excited, just thinking we're gonna drop them in and it's gonna be super easy, and then the wiring was a really big setback, so I'm super happy to have that completely done. That's something that we can't really get the car started without, so another integral thing is checked off the list. We're gonna go ahead and throw the temperature sensor in at some point in the near future. I'm not really quite sure, whenever it comes in, whenever the adapter comes in. But for now, the electric fans are working, so I'm not super concerned about it. We can move on to bigger and better things. And with that, I'll see you in the next one. I was in the middle of about to turn the fans on, and Shaw says he found an adapter for the temperature sensor. You found one? Show the good people on your phone.
Check this out.
Turn that hentai off.
Boom, right there. $15, which, whew, but you know.
The whole camera is shitting out.
Yep.
That's not good. What is? Stop.